Hari Om, we are back again with another story from the Upanishads. And this story is a story from the Chandogya Upanishad, and it is about learning, it is about receiving knowledge. And in the Chandogya Upanishad, in the story portion, it is said that Prajapati Brahma was giving out the teaching of the highest knowledge, as he would always do that. And the Devas and the Asuras had all gathered there to listen to the teachings of Prajapati Brahma. Prajapati Brahma, as he was talking about the Atma, he was talking about the glory of the self, the glory of the Atman. And there he said that the Atman is the eternal one. It is ageless, it is sinless, it is fearless, it is deathless. One must know this Atman. One must seek to know this Atman. In this Atman, there is no hunger, there are no limitations, there is no sorrow. And when one knows the Brahman, all the desires come to an end. And if one wants to gain the three worlds, even that is done upon knowing the Atman. So as he was talking about the Atman in this manner, the Devas and the Asuras who had gathered there were very inspired. They all felt, we must know this Atman, we must become the seekers of the Atman. And then they decided that among the Devas, Indra would approach Prajapati Brahma, and among the Asuras, Virochana would approach Prajapati Brahma. So they both, as students, they went with complete sincerity, and they both went with complete humility and went to Prajapati Brahma and requested him to give them the highest knowledge, to give them the teaching of the Atman. And Prajapati Brahma was very happy to hear this, and he said, "Oh, gladly, you come, stay here for 32 years, at the end of which I will give you the knowledge of the Atman." So they were ready for that, because they knew that if we want to receive knowledge, we must have the willingness, we must have the patience, and it is not like that, it takes time. So they spent 32 years serving in the ashram, serving Prajapati Brahma, and spending their time in meditation and learning. And 32 years passed, and at the end of that, Prajapati Brahma asked them both to come to him. And when they approached Prajapati Brahma said, "The Atman is the sinless, the fearless, the deathless one. I know this Atma as the one that you see in the pupil of your eye." He said this, and then he also said, "Now you both have spent 32 years here. I want you to go back and see your face in a vessel of water, and come back to me and tell me what your experience was." So the disciples, Indra and Virochana, went back. They filled a vessel with water and looked at their reflection. And the next morning, they came back to Prajapati Brahma, who asked them, "So what was your experience?" So they both said, "Oh Bhagavan, we could see our face, our body exactly how it is. In fact, with immense clarity, we could even see the hairs, and we could also see the nails." So this is what both of them replied. So Prajapati Brahma said, "All right, now you both go back and shave. Have a good shave, neat, clean face. Adorn yourself with jewels, wear your crown, be well dressed, groom yourself, and then see your reflection, see your face in the water in the vessel, and come back to me." So they said, "Okay." So they went back, they did exactly as they were told, and next morning they were back, and Prajapati Brahma asked, "So tell me what your experience was." Both of them said, "Again, we could see with complete clarity our face and our body as it is." So Prajapati Brahma said, "Okay, so that is the Atman, and That is the Atman which is fearless, sinless and deathless. Virochana was completely convinced. Indra too looked satisfied and they both left. Virochana was completely satisfied. So he went back and he gave this knowledge to the Asuras and he said, this body is the Atman, this body is the self. We must glorify it, we must serve it and we must seek to know this. So that was done. On the other hand, Indra was a little not very convinced. Some doubts began to arise in his mind. He thought, why did Prajapati Brahma call this body as the self? Because he said that the self is ageless, the self is deathless, but this body undergoes change. Because first he asked us to see our face in the waters of the vessel. And then he asked us to again clean shave and all of that and dress up and then see. Okay, again we saw the body. But the body, once this body dies, then how will the reflection come there? How will we know the body? And if the body dies and the Atma is deathless, then something is not right here. So he went back to Prajapati Brahma and said, Bhagavan, I am not very convinced about the body being the Atman. Can you please clarify this? Prajapati Brahma was very happy and he said, of course, dear Indra, spend another 32 years here, at the end of which I will give you the teaching. So Indra was ready for that. And another 32 years he spent reflecting and meditating and serving. And at the end of 32 years, Prajapati Brahma called him. And Prajapati Brahma told him that person who roams around in your dreams, that is the Atman. That is the fearless, sinless, ageless, deathless Atman. So Indra accepted the teaching and he felt okay, probably, and he left from there. As he was going, again doubts started creeping in his mind. And he said, Bhagavan said, the person who walks around in the dream, but the person who walks around in the dream undergoes a lot of sorrow, pain, agitations, fear. But Atma is fearless. Atma is sinless, deathless, ageless. But we see a lot of these things in the person in the dream. Then how can that be the self? How can that be Atman? With this doubt, he came back to Prajapati Brahma. Prajapati Brahma was further pleased with Indra. And he said, yes, you have doubts? And Indra said, yes, Bhagavan, I am not very convinced that the person who roams around in the dream can be the Atman, because your teaching and this doesn't add up. So Prajapati Brahma said, all right, you spend another 32 years here. Okay, Indra was ready for that. And he spent the next 32 years also reflecting, meditating, serving. And at the end of those 32 years, Prajapati Brahma called him. And when Indra came before Prajapati Brahma told him, the one, the blissful one, the peaceful one in your deep sleep, that is definitely the Atman. That is verily the Atman. That is the Atman that must be known. That is the Atman who is the effulgent one, the fearless one, the sinless one, the ageless one, the deathless one. Alright, so Indra bowed down, thanked Prajapati Brahma and he felt probably right, and he started walking back. As he was walking, he thought, the person in my deep sleep, the person in the deep sleep, all right, is probably at peace, but he is not even conscious of his very existence. But the Atman is supposed to be the ever conscious one. And if the Atman is the ever conscious one, and if the person in the deep sleep is not even conscious of his very existence, then something is not right, isn't it? Let me go back to Prajapati Brahma, he thought, and he walked back. Prajapati Brahma was mighty pleased to see him come back. And Indra said, Bhagavan, I am still not convinced, because the person in the deep sleep state is not even conscious of his very existence. But according to your teaching, the Atman is all conscious, ever conscious. Then how does this add up? Please clarify this for me, Bhagavan, asked Indra. Prajapati Brahma said, I am very pleased with you, Indra. Yes, stay on for just another 5 years, and I will give you complete clarity on this. So, he had waited so many years, another 5 years after all. With patience and perseverance, Indra went back to his reflection, his meditation and serving. And 5 years went by, and he came back to Prajapati Brahma. And what did Prajapati Brahma have to say now? So, Prajapati Brahma gave him the profound teaching of the Atma. The Atma, the Self, the Brahman, call it whatever. It's all the same. And the teaching given by Prajapati Brahma is what is seen in all the Upanishads. It is to explain this message that there are so many examples, so many stories given. And what was that teaching that Prajapati Brahma gave Indra? He said that the Atman is bodiless and it is deathless. Yet somehow it seems to become embodied by this body. And this body is perishable, the body undergoes change, the body undergoes various things. And this embodied Atman, this embodied self, now because of being embodied, feels limited, feels as though that's all it is. And because of that feeling of being limited, being less, it undergoes all sorts of, desires. It goes through the experiences of pain and pleasure. It goes through the experiences of joys and sorrows. It has likes and dislikes. And it also undergoes, because of all of this, birth and death. So, the Atman, which is actually bodiless, feels as though it is trapped in the body. It only feels. It can never really be embodied. It can never really be limited. But it's just a feeling that it has. And that feeling is what is causing all this dualities of pain and pleasure, birth and death, joys and sorrows. But in reality, Atman is the highest truth. Atman is the Sat Chit Ananda. Sat, it is always existent. There is never a death for Atman. It is ever conscious. It is consciousness, in fact. And it is bliss. This is truly the Atman. This is the Atman that one must seek, that one must know. And this is the highest knowledge. So, this was the highest, the most profound teaching that we find in the Upanishads, which Prajapati Brahma gave Indra. Now, this is the story portion, right? So, after this, of course, Indra goes back without any doubts. He gets back and he gives this knowledge to all the Devas. Now, this is the story of the Chandogya Upanishad, and it tells us the importance of reflecting upon the teachings that we receive. See, a teacher gives his or her teachings, but it is up to the student to sit back, reflect, think upon all the teachings that he has received, and check with his experience. Am I convinced? Does it match what the Acharya is telling and my experience? Does it match? If not, I go back, and it doesn't matter how many times I need to go back, how long I have to wait, how much I might have to serve and think and meditate. I will do it because I want complete clarity in this knowledge. So, perseverance, patience, Shraddha in the Guru, in the teaching. It is not that there is something wrong with the teaching, but there is something that I am not understanding right, isn't it? So that Shraddha in the teaching, Shraddha in the teacher, the Guru, extremely, extremely important. So these three, perseverance, patience and Shraddha, are extremely important, and that is what this story portrays. It is true for even the small knowledge that we try to gain in the world, and what to talk of the highest knowledge, isn't it? So let this story inspire all of us to mull upon it and to become seekers of that highest truth, which is the very purpose of this human birth. This story reminds me of two popular proverbs. One is, knowledge is power, and the other is, half knowledge is dangerous. So let us all be seekers of this highest knowledge. Let us put in all our effort in getting this knowledge with complete clarity, for that will give us that eternal peace that we are looking for, the absolute bliss that we are looking for, and that completes the purpose of the cycles of birth and death, and in fact of being born as a human. I hope this story has driven the message to all those who are listening. Hari Om.